Top-down analysis. You're welcome to our weekly midweek market structure breakdown, and in this video I'll be explaining and analyzing all of the 5 different pairs that were given during the live stream on Monday. So stay tuned and watch till the end. And if you are new here, do well to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the post notification. So the first pair on our list that I'll be looking at for the midweek analysis is NAS100. On my screen here we have NAS100 on the weekly time frame. So let's get straight into the chart and I will walk you throughout the process of analyzing NAS100 and possible trade setup for the midweek. This is NAS100 on the weekly time frame, and on the weekly time frame, what can we see? We can see price swept this low. You can see we have this long wick to the downside, so price actually swept this low, giving us a valid break to the upside at this point. So price still continue to the opposite direction, that's to the upside. So after having this break to the upside, we had this other break here. There was a valid break at this level on the weekly here, and after that we had this other break. All right, so let's get to look at the most recent price action so we can step down to the daily. So from the weekly, you can see that we have this other block here. This was the last break of structure we had to the upside, and if you look at this is the other block here. This is the other block here. All right, so on this other block, what do you notice? You see there's a fair value gap at this level. There's a fair value gap. Let me zoom this in. So you can see there's a fair value gap, and price has come into this weekly level and price has reacted to the upside, and price didn't just come into that level. You can see something was obvious on this particular level. You can see we had a liquidity sweep at this level here. So let's get to indicate that. All right, so liquidity was taken at this level, and we have this other block on the weekly. Having this other block on the weekly, we have this high here. This is the last high for NAS100 on the weekly. So having this push to the downside, we want to see price come all the way into this level, and as we can see, price is currently at this supply. So let's step down to the daily so we can have a clear picture of what we are expecting from now till weekend. So here we are on the daily time frame. This is the daily time frame of NAS100. So let's get to refine this other block here. So if we should refine this other block, this is the candle we'll be working with on the daily. So on the daily level, this is the candlestick here present as our other block. So we have this as the liquidity sweep at this level. Price swept this point. So at this point, this gave us a change of character on the daily. So what we have here on the daily is a change of character. Yeah. So what we have is a change of character, and having a change of character, this gives us this level here as a potential supply on the daily. So this is what we have, and we can see that price is currently sitting in the daily supply. So we'll go down to the 4 hours so we'll get to understand where we have our trading range. So now let me take this supply out first. So what we have for our trading range is we have this high and we have this level here. We have this level. Okay, so this is what we have. Now let's step down to the 4 hours. All right, so here we are on the 4 hours. This is what we have on the 4 hours price action. So we'll look at this price leg so we get to understand what is happening towards the right hand side. All right, so on the left hand side we have this as a change of character. We are only marking the external range. So this is what we have as a change of character at this level here, from this push to the downside, and having that as a change of character, we have this level here as our supply. So let's get to mark our supply on these 4 hours. So this is what we have as our supply on the 4 hours. Yes. So why are we marking here as our supply? If you look at this level, we have this as our liquidity. So this is our engineered liquidity to validate that supply zone for us, and you can also see that we have a fair value gap. Let's get to point at this. We have this fair value gap here. If you look at, we have a fair value gap at that point. So to the left hand side, we've marked our supply and we've marked our external change of character, and don't forget we have this demand level we're expecting price to come back into. So now, looking at this price action to the downside, let's get to label all of this to the downside so you get to understand what we'll be looking at for to the right hand side. So if you're still watching till this point, please do wait to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the post notification. Share this video so that what a lot of traders will actually get to benefit from this. Okay, back to the video. So at this level, we have all of this pushed to the downside, and at this point, this was where we had the last break of structure to the downside. So we'll label this. Let's get to label this. All right, so moving forward, we have here as a valid change of character. So this is a change of character on the 4 hours to the upside, and after having this change of character, price gave us this level. We had this other block, so we have this other block at this level here. So this is the first zone we are looking at for price to come back into, and we have another one at this level. So this is the second one. Now price pushed all the way to the upside, giving us a break of structure at this level, a valid break of structure at this level again. After having this break of structure, we're expecting this price to come back either to this zone or to this one. Now, from this first level, you can see we have all of this engineered liquidity, and price came back into this zone, and price has tapped into this level. So what was the next thing? Now, let's look at this level. Price tapping into this level, we had the last break of structure to the downside, and now we have this valid change of character to the upside. All right, so this is what we have on the 4 hours. This is what we have on the 4 hours. Now let's get to refine this chart to the 1 hour to actually understand what we're expecting next. Don't forget, we have our supply here. This is the 4 hour supply we want to see price come back into, and we have this liquidity point. Very, very important. We have this liquidity point above our supply, and we are not taking this liquidity point for granted. All right, so at this level here, we have this minus supply, and that is what price is reacting to at this level. You can see this sell we had to the downside, but we need to understand what is the next line of action for NAS100. All right, so let's get to step down to the 1 hour. Okay, so stepping down to the 1 hour at this level, you can remember this was the last break of structure we had to. This was the last change of character to the upside, and if you notice the price action on this particular pair, this is what we have. So first, when price pushed up, price gave us this other block. There was this other block left at this point. We can see we had this other block at this level here, still yet to be filled at this point. This is the other block we have, and price gave us another other block at this level here. And we are not just coming to mark any other block. We have to make sure that all of our criteria have been met. We have a valid momentum given to us before we get to take that setup. So if we notice this, I said this was a minor supply, meaning the main supply we are looking at for, this is the main targeted supply we are looking at for. So coming to this here, after this price moved to the upside, if you extend this to this, to the right hand side here, you can see price tapped into this level, and we want to see this price run all the way to this point. So at this point, what is our next line of action? First, we need to understand is this is a major high. We want to see price go above. So this is a major high. We want to see this price go above, and you can also see that we have a descending trend line liquidity at this level here. We have this trend line liquidity to the downside. You need to really understand how to trade trend line and the way we use it in maximizing our profit. All right, so this is what we have at this level, and I have this other block here. This is the last other block I want to see price come back into. So this is what I want to see at this level, this candlestick here. This is what I want to see price come back into. I have my fair value gap here. I have this fair value gap here, and let's get to also mark our liquidity. So if you look at this level, we have all of this liquidity resting at this point. We have all of this liquidity resting at this point. So I'll be anticipating for NAS100 to come back into this level. This is what I want to see. price coming back into this level, and our first target will be this high. This will be our first target, and if we want to go for the extreme zone, we need to understand that what price needs to get to this point, and if we have a possible break above this point, then we can extend possible target all the way to this supply zone. So for now, I want to see price take out all of this liquidity, price return back to this zone, then we have this expansion to the upside. So this is my bias for NAS100. Let's look at gold. So this is what we have on gold from the last live stream we had on Monday. So I will take off everything on this chart and I'm going to analyze this so that you watching will get to actually understand how we came about this setup and why we are having the bias we'll be having for today. So stay tuned. All right, so let's go to gold weekly time frame. Take off everything here. All right, so this is gold on the weekly time frame, and what can you see? I love the momentum I'm actually seeing on gold. The price action and everything is so clean. Yeah, so clean. So this is what we have on gold. We have this break at this point. Looking at the current price action, we have this here, and if we want to go by the weekly zone we are looking at for, we should be expecting this price to drop all the way to this level, but we know that gold is not coming anytime soon all the way to this point. We are bullish, so we should be looking out for more buys to the upside. So let's just get to mark this, then step down to the daily time frame. All right, so heading to the daily time frame here, this is what we have on the daily time frame. So here on the daily time frame, and if you've been following up with all of the videos and live stream on this channel, you will see that we explain all of the reasons for gold to move from this level and taking this high off. So today I'll be explaining what we need to know and the next move or next line of action for gold. So looking at gold from this level, looking at gold from this level here, and looking at this current price action, and that is where our focus will be for today's price action. All right, so now if you look at this, we have this level here where we have this change of character on gold. Yeah, this was a change of character here, and we have a break of structure to this side here. Remember, candle wicks are not part of our break of structure. It always has to be a candle body. So this is our break of structure at this level here. All right, so we have another break of structure at this level, and having this break of structure at this level gave us what? First, we have this other block. We have this other block, and we have this fair value gap, and we also have this other block at this level here. This one. All right, so this is the one the price is currently reacting from, and if you watched what the last market structure video I uploaded last week, you'll see that I explained all the reasons why gold should react from this level and why we should be expecting price to move to the upside. So if you've not watched that video, once you're done with this one, go back to the previous one and get to watch, so you get to actually understand how price gets to move from zone to zone. So this is what we have on the daily level. Stepping down to the 4 hours here, let's get to see what we have on the 4 hours. All right, so here we are on the 4 hours. This is what we have on the 4 hours. So let's get to refine this level here and get to look at the 4 hours price action. All right, so if you look at this 4 hours level, let me take this off. So if you look at this 4 hours price action, you can see we have this level. This is what we have. All right, so I know a lot of persons actually were looking out for this level, but this is what we have. And if you go down to the smaller time frame, you get to really see this other block clearly, just like what I posted previously. I'm going to still get to explain that in this video. So looking at the 4 hours price action here, we have this here as our break of structure. This is our break of structure, and the next level that we had a break of structure was here. We have our break of structure at this level here. So this is the next break of structure at this level, and at this point what we had there was engineered liquidity, or you can call them what? Inducement. At this level we had our inducement. This level was our inducement. Don't worry, when we step down to the 1 hour, you will get to understand better. All right, so this is what we have on the 4 hours. And if you look at this current price action, from what I said last week, I said price was going to move all the way to this level, and if the price is still very bullish, we should be able to take out this supply. But for now, the major target is for price to move into this supply, and we've already achieved that 90%. 90% because price has moved into this level, and price is what heading into this supply. On the 4 hours, you can see price has already tapped into this supply level. But let's go down to the 1 hour, just like what I explained during the live stream on Monday. Okay, so this is what we have on the 1 hour price action. So on the 1 hour price action, let me get to show you the trade we took last week on gold. And this trade wasn't just shared, it was also shared before it played out on the video we dropped as of last week. So this is what we have on the 1 hour, and we're expecting this price to come back to this point. And you can see price has tapped into this level, and we expected it to the upside. And after we had this price movement into this level, I wasn't seeing this level as a supply, and that's why I didn't even consider it. I was expecting price to break above it, and as of during the live stream, when I saw this level, I said this was what? A liquidity point. You need to really understand this. This was a liquidity point. So I was only expecting this price to correct into this zone, this level here. This level I was expecting this price to correct back into. Yes, and this price should move to the upside. So at this point here, let's take this off. So at this point, what can we say? We have what? A valid break at this point to the upside. We have another break at this level to the upside, and you can see price came back into this level, and that's why we have that expansion to the upside. Here we have another break to the upside at this level. So from this point, what can we see? Because this is where we have the last stronger push to the upside. I can see price has already what use this other block we have here at this point. So I'll be looking at gold. If possible reaction should come, I should be expecting gold to come back into this other block, because this is the last other block left unfilled. If you look at this, you can see this one has already been filled at this level. This fair value gap has also been used, but here we still have this other fair value gap still yet to be filled. We still have this fair value gap, and we still have this other block still yet to be filled. We have what? This liquidity still, all of this trend line liquidity to be taken out. So this is what we have. We have this liquidity, and we want to see price, if we have a correction, slash down into this zone and possible reaction to the upside. So this is my bias for gold, and we also still have this pending order block, just like what I discussed during the live stream. We still have this pending order block here. This is also left unfilled on the 1 hour. We still have this left unfilled. So we'll be looking at this, and we'll be looking at this. So this is what we have on gold, and if you have same view, let me know in the comment section. Do share your thought, and if you have something different, also do well to leave your comments in the comment section. Here we don't criticize or our viewer suggestions are of great importance. We don't criticize anyone's bias. We are all right in the market. We are just seeing the market from different perspectives. So your opinions, your views are always welcome. Leave them in the comment section, and I will do well to always respond to your comments. So we'll be moving into the third pair, and that's EURJPY. Let's look at EURJPY, because that was also asked during the live stream for us to actually review too. So let's look at EURJPY here. Okay, so first we'll go down to the weekly. You know I will do a top-down analysis, and it can only be the smart candles. So top-down analysis. And if you are still enjoying this video till this point, and you enjoy what we do here on this channel, please do well to subscribe to the channel, and do well to turn on post notification. Share the video so that other people can also get to benefit from what we do here. All right, so this is what we have on the weekly. Let's look to the left hand side to see if we have anywhere prices currently moving into, or that's okay. So we have this here. So on the weekly, we have this supply. We have this supply here. So this is what we have on the weekly. We need to understand where the price is heading to. Good. Okay, so here on the weekly, we can identify that we have a supply, and price has moved into that supply. So okay, now let's step down to the daily, but first we need to understand our trading range. So if you look at this point, on the weekly, this is the level, and we have here as our last break of structure to the upside. So this is what we have, our break of structure to the upside. So this is what we have on the weekly. Now, stepping down to the daily, let's get to understand the current price action on the daily. All right, so first, let's get to put this to this way. So looking at the current price action on the daily level, this is what we have. We have this break of structure to the upside, and followed by this break to the upside. We have another break of structure to the upside at this point, and we have this here break of structure to the upside, because the price is bullish. The price is bullish, so we should be expecting more push to the upside. So this is what we have, this break of structure to the upside. All right, so having all of this break of structure to the upside from the daily, let's step down to the 4 hours so we get to have a better understanding of what the market is doing. All right, so from the 4 hours, we'll only be looking at this level to this level. So let me get to zoom this in properly so you get to understand. So yeah, I believe this is visible for you to see. At this level, we have this break of structure to the upside, and we have our trading range on the 4 hours. So this is what we have. Let me mark this with my box. Okay, so we have this here. All right, so this is what we have on the 4 hours. Clean price action. This is so clean. Like, this is so clean. This is so clean. And you have your inducement at this level here. This is your inducement. This chart doesn't even need much explanation any further. Like, this is so clean. You have your fair value gap, and you also have your fair value gap still sitting here on the 4 hours. So whatever price is doing here, we want to see this price drop all the way to this level, and we want to shoot up again to the upside. So from the 4 hours, we want to see this into this, and we want to see price come back into this level. So this is what we have on the 4 hours. But let's step down to the 1 hour to see if we can actually write on the sell. Let's step down on the 1 hour. Okay, so first we'll have to refine this other block properly. Okay, so this is perfect based on other block refinement. So based on other block refinement, this is perfect. This is our inducement. Okay, so let's look at this sell. Let's look at the sell to the downside. So if you look at this was where we had the last break of structure to the upside on the 1 hour here, and we have a change of character at this level. Clean. All right, so having this change of character, we have our supply at this level. So this is our supply. We have this supply here, and if you can see, we have a fair value gap on this supply. Price gave us what? This level as the liquidity, but pricing come back into the supply. But let's get to see what price does from there. So at this point, we have a break of structure. You need to understand that you don't need to make trading complicated. It's simple. Just follow the price action as it's going. All right, so moving forward, we have this as our change of character to the upside. This was our change of character, and at this point here, we had more liquidity build to the upside. We have this liquidity, and this supply still holds. And if we want to go with this, I just want to take from this level to this point. All right, so at this point, we have a change of character to the downside. And if we want to look at for possible sells on EURJPY, if we should be looking for possible sells, this is what I want to see. At this point, we didn't have any engineered liquidity, so we can't say we want to trade from this other block. So I'll be looking for price to come back into this point. This is what I want to see on the 1 hour. I want to see if this price can move all the way to this point, and I will take a sell to the downside. So this is what I want to see for the 1 hour. If this price is able to move to this point, then I will see all of this as my liquidity. This is what I will see to this point as my liquidity, so danger zone. Don't trade. Don't trade. If you understand, don't trade. So I want to see this price push all the way to this level, and this price should be able to push to the supply here at this top, then price move to the downside, or price come back into this level, then I look for possible buy. So these are my buyers for EURJPY. And if you actually enjoy trading EURJPY, let me also know in the comment section. And if EURJPY is one of your favorite pairs, do well to leave it in the comment section. If gold is your favorite pair, do well to leave it in the comment section. And if you trade NAS100, also do well to leave it in the comment section. And let's get to make money this week. Alright, so moving on, the next pair we'll be looking at is GBPCAD, and after this I'll look at the last pair for the midweek market structure and top-down analysis. And if there's a pair you want me to analyze, please do wait to also leave it in the comment section, so that next week Wednesday, that pair will be the first pair I'll be looking at for, so I'll get to make a lot of money by next week too. Alright, so this is GBPCAD on the weekly time frame. So this is what we have on the weekly time frame. And what can you see? You can see the price is bullish. I think the entire market is just bullish. The entire market is bullish. Alright, so on this particular pair, we've seen that this price is bullish. I don't want to waste time. I'm trying to just work with time so that this video is not so long. Okay, so we've seen that this price is bullish, and I will just go ahead just to mark the range I want to look at for. So this is what I have as my low, and I have this point here as my high. And why am I marking these two zones or these two levels? These are my trading range. These are my trading ranges. So this low and this high is where I want to trade within. So I will step down to the daily. Let's look at the daily very fast. Okay, it seems this is very simple. There is no much work to actually do on this, but still, let me get the job done. All right, so this is GBPCAD, and we are on the daily time frame. And if you want to look at this price action, we just put a break here. Let's get to see this. And if you put this to this level, this is what we have. This is where we have the break, and we have this other block here on the daily. Yes, so this is what we have on the daily time frame. This is what we have on the daily. All right, so let's step down to the 4 hours real quick, so we get to understand the current price action and possible buyers. If you trade from 4 hours, you get to take your trade on 4 hours, and if you trade from 1 hour, just like me, you get to take your trade on 1 hour. All right, so this is what we have. Let me zoom this in better so we understand where we are coming from and where we are going to. Okay, so refining this other block here, I think the 4 hours is the same thing with. Okay, so this is what we have, and this is why we have this buy. So let me put this way, so we get to look at this current price action from this high to this level here. All right, so if you look at this price action, we have this change of character to the downside at this level here. This is the change of character we have at this level, and let me take this off here. And that was the last break of structure on the 4 hours at this level. Yeah, that was the last break of structure that we had at that level. So having this price action to the downside, we had a supply here, and we also had a supply at this level. We have this supply at this level here. So you can see price pulled down, pulled up at this point, price pulled down again before you had this internal change of character. So at this level we had this internal change of character. You need to understand the difference between internal and external change of character. Very important. So we have this internal change of character, and if you look at this closely, if you look at the price action closely, price came back into this other block. Price came back into this other block at this level. You had this expansion to the upside, and after having this expansion to the upside, we were expecting this price to push all the way to the upside, but price never did. So this high was still maintained. So price pulled below this, took out this level, took out this low, which gave us what? A break to the downside. So at this level here, we had a change of character to the downside, and price came back up again to give us a change of character to the upside. Please take note how this chart is being marked, so you can go back to your own chart and get to replicate the same thing on your own chart perfectly. All right, so extending this supply to this point, you can see price gave us this engineered liquidity, and price eventually tapped into this level, and that's why you had this sell reaction to the downside. And don't forget, we have this other block here. We have this other block to the from the down here. We have this other block, and we have this fair value gap. All of these are liquidity, and price has tapped into this. So now we can see that there's a supply and there's another block, both sides. So what is our expectation? What is our expectation? We need to look at this internal price action. This is where the work now comes in, because we want to see the next line of action. All right, I'm going to do that now. So looking at the chart here, this is what we have. So we need to mark where we have the last low and the last high. So at this point, this is where we had the last break of structure to the downside. We have this break of structure. That has the internal break of structure. And here we have a sweep, and this was where we had a change of character. We had a change of character at this level. So this is a change of character. Yeah. All right. So having a change of character at this level, you can see price has come back to mitigate the other block at this point, and we now have this expansion to the upside. Do you want to see this price break above this point? Yes. Yes, this is 4 hours, and let me zoom this in. So since price has already mitigated the supply and this price wasn't able to break below this level, that means we should be expecting push to the upside. But before you have the push to the upside, I want to see a correction to the downside, and that is what I'm here to make you understand. All right, so at this level here, we have this change of character, and followed by what? A break of structure. We have a break of structure to this level here. I don't know if you're following. So after having this break of structure, what next? We have this zone. Don't forget, we have this minus supply, and price will likely react to it to the downside. So this is what we have. We have this level on the 4 hours. Yes, we have this level on the 4 hours. Let's refine this level to the 1 hour to understand what we have better. Okay, so this is what we have on 1 hour. Let's refine. Okay, so if we are to refine this other block, this is what we have. So this is what we have on the 1 hour here, and this. Okay, so this is what we have on the 1 hour, and this will serve as my inducement level. I want to see this as my inducement at this level here. So what am I expecting? I want to see price come back into this level. So this is what I want to see. I want to see this price drop into this point, and we have this expansion to the upside. So this is what we have, and this is the fourth pair we are actually looking at for today. So this is what we have, our stop loss here, and minimum is 1:3. 1:3. So here's my 1:3, and if you want to go for the extreme, this should be like, okay, 3.5. So this is what we have here. So this is what I want to see on GBPCAD. I want to see this price drop to this way and expansion to the upside. So if you're a lover of GBPCAD, let me know in the comment section. So the last pair on our list is EURUSD. That's the last pair I'll be doing top-down analysis on for the midweek. All right, so welcome to EURUSD. So EURUSD, let's start from the weekly. I think everything is bullish. And I just don't want to waste our time. I don't want to waste any time. So straight into the business. We have this here. We have this high at this point. We have this high here at this point. And we have this level here at this point. We have this level. And if you have to look at the current high now, we have this level. All right, so these are the three levels or the three lines I'll be working with, and you'll get to understand why. So looking at EURUSD, EURUSD is bullish. EURUSD is bullish from the weekly. So let's look at the daily. So from the daily here, what can we see? So what can we see? So on the daily, first, we can see that we have this level taken out. All right, and we have this other block. We have this other block here. So this is what we have on the daily. So from the daily, if you look to the right hand side, what do you notice? We have this liquidity here. So let's label this our liquidity line, liquidity resting at that point. I want to see this price push all the way to that point. We want to see price push all the way to that level. All right, so looking at the internal price action, we can see that this low and price was took out this high, giving us a change of character, and price came back into the other block. Actually what? Price came back into this other block at this point here. If you go down to the 4 hours, you will see that. All right, so we have a breakout structure at this level. We have this breakout structure at this level here, and here we have this sweep. We have this sweep. Now, looking at this pair, what can we see? So from the daily, we have this other block. That's what I can see on the daily. Let me know if that's the same thing you're seeing in the comments. We have this, and you can also see that if you look to the left hand side, we have this supply. We have this supply here, and I think that's what price is reacting to. But let's go to the 4 hours so we get to understand if that supply will hold or not, because I'm looking at that liquidity at the top. All right, so let's look at this, zoom this in. All right, so if we zoom this in, this is the supply we have here. We have this supply. We have this supply that we're looking at, but because of this candle wick, this might likely fail. This price might likely trade above this zone. Please take note. Please take note. We have this fair value gap and all of that, but this price might likely break above that point. But let's look at what we have for the current price action on EURUSD. So from the 4 hours, this is what we have here. This is what we have at this level, and I think I'm seeing something below. Again, we have this other block here. We have this other block here. So this one, I want you to say it in the comment section. Which of these zones do you think will be the one price we will expect? Which of these zones do you think price will expect? Let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's get to see if there is anything we need to refine. Okay, so I'm seeing this level here on the 1 hour. I'm also seeing another level on this 1 hour. I'm seeing another level on the 1 hour, and I think this is something we'll answer in the comment section. Let's know what level you are looking at for. So what shall I call them? What shall I give them as the labels? Let me refine this here. Okay, so I'm coming. This will be quiz for everybody watching this video. Let's get to see. So this will be our zone 1, and this one will be our zone 2, and this will be our zone 3. This will be our zone 3. So I think we should label this properly so that let's know. Okay. Okay, so that's zone 1, and let's label this zone 2. zone 2, and this is zone 3. All right, so I want to know in the comment section, between zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, which of these levels do you think price will respect? Which of these levels do you think price will respect, and why? Why? Why do you think this one, and this one? I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. So I'll see you in the next one.